So my last video was an unscripted on whether it matters to God if we do a specific job or if it's just that we do it for Him. I feel led to expand on the idea here. To recap, I believe God does have specific jobs He wants us to do, and brought up how Paul uses different parts of the human body to explain the different parts and jobs of the church body. In between that video and this, I also read in Proverbs, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, God is the maker of both. While it is talking about the actual body parts, the same is applied to us. We were made to either see or hear or handle or walk. God made us that way for a purpose. But how do we know our job? Proverbs 16:1, the preparations of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Proverbs 11:14, where there is no counsel the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. The sentiment in that second one is repeated 2 more times in Proverbs. We need people we trust to help guide us. People God has gifted with words of knowledge and words of wisdom. We need to pray about where He is wanting to lead us. If He wants us to go a certain direction, or if we need to stay, or what exactly. He'll answer in a way that we will hear. May not be immediately clear. Sometimes no answer means to wait. I'm currently in a position where I'm praying, seeking guidance. I'm looking at it, and through all earthly wisdom, it seems like I should. And if God were not a part of the conversation, I would say absolutely. I know I do decent at it. My superiors believe I do decent. It would be more money. It would also help me learn skills that would be useful in ministry. But I'm also reminded of Genesis 3:1-6. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. By all earthly wisdom, why shouldn't they have eaten of the tree? It was food. It would make them wise. It was right there. This opportunity would give me a better income, increase my skill set. It is right there. Sometimes good opportunities will come your way, but as Paul says, all things are permitted, but not all things are beneficial. The right answer isn't always the one that immediately seems best. There are things that may happen down the road, making the better option not so good. Only God sees the end from the beginning. He grants us glimpses from time to time. Just look at all the prophecies in the Bible. But other times, He'll give us a command that doesn't seem to make sense until later. Much like in Psalm 73, we don't understand why those who aren't following God are doing so well, while we who are following Him and are doing everything we can to cleanse our heart and to be good stewards of what we've been given, we seem like we're struggling. But when we see the next chapter, we see we're so foolish. The wicked will get their due, as will the righteous. We don't need to see the whole picture. Just follow Him and preach the word. We can see in Acts and the letters of Paul that's exactly what the disciples did. They were either led or hindered by God, and that is what allowed the gospel to spread. Not by doing just whatever because it was for God, but by letting God take control and becoming living sacrifices for His glory. So, the only question remains, will you do the same? Good day, and God bless.